Hi, folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. This was not the video that I intended to make this morning, but it seems like things are rapidly changing with all this Iran and Iraq, Israel and Iran stuff. And so I decided to switch gears. Things look like, and it's hard to tell because you've got fake news, you've got people just posting fake stuff, you've got the AI and all that kind of stuff, you've got propaganda, and then you've got our own administration that seems to be flip-flopping back and forth. You may not like to hear that, but I mean, I don't know what else you're going to call it. Is it a strategy? It's not a good one, I don't think. But so it's hard to really know exactly what's going on, but it does appear as if things are taking a serious turn for the worse. So last night online, and it kind of started then, really. I mean, it's been going on since the beginning of this, but there's been a big tone between what's going on online, the actual fighting, and then from the president himself. Last night, there seemed to be a panic online. There was just a fury of posts and news articles that pretty much every nation on the planet is ordering all their people to evacuate Iran and Israel. There seemed to be possible threats or indication that a nuke was going to be used. All kinds of stuff. The President Trump was at the G7 summit in Canada and abruptly left. And the word is that he ordered his Security Council to convene as soon as he got back. It was being reported that was being done because of some type of peace talk or something going on. The president fired back online saying, his typical kind of post, that's not true. It was Macron from France. He doesn't know what he's talking about. There's something bigger going on than peace talks. Well, maybe the something bigger that's going on is that there's actual plans to attack. So the news has been reporting, and a lot of this is coming out of Wall Street Journal reporting, that Iran is frantically trying to come up with some kind of peace deal, ceasefire deal, contacting the United States. There's been reports that there seems to be some kind of communication going on behind channels. The president himself has made strong indication over the last few days that, he's going to give them one more chance, right? We're going to give them one more chance, try to come to a peace deal and all that kind of stuff. Now, this morning rolls around and nothing really significant has happened in the actual war. I mean, surely they've been, blowing each other up, but nothing greatly significant. The tone of between Trump supporters, basically, there's this huge rift forming, major huge, that's forming over the last kind of 48 hours. And a lot of prominent social media people, influencers, whatever, reporters, there's this huge divide, and they're like attacking each other. It's like watching a bunch of, piranhas. They're attacking each other. And now it seems like Trump has kind of changed his tone about Iran. It's reported that he said this morning that he has no interest in talking to Iran. He's done with that, and that he's not been in communication with them. They're not trying to work out a peace deal, and he's not going to call them and try to work one out. And he said that if Iran wants a ceasefire, they know how to get a hold of him. That he's not interested in speaking to them. Is there something else that he knows about, or is it kind of the peer pressure? Because it seems like that he's, in the last 24 hours or so, starting to listen more to the pro-war, pro-Israel, pro-war part of the MAGA, because he's come out and he's attacked people like Tucker Carlson and stuff. Guys like Alex Jones is now kind of turning on the president. Of course, Tucker Carlson's condemning him. Several others. And then the opposite side, they're praising the president, saying that he was sent by God. President posted this text from Mike Huckabee and, all this kind of stuff. So it seems like he's listening to that side now. And I guess the point is that it's very possible, I think, the strong likelihood that we could see action, we as in the United States could see action from us in Iran shortly, next few days. There was a radar indication this morning that there was tankers, American tankers planes moving into the Middle East, not from the United States, but ones that were kind of already in the region, but moving closer, flying in that area. Is it because they're refueling fighter jets? Don't know. We've got a aircraft carrier moved into that area. There's just, it seems to be a really tense situation right now. Iran could certainly just raise the white flag and give up. And at this point, I think that's the only thing that could happen. Even if it was them raising the white flag or, some type of negotiation, I can't see especially Israel and probably even the United States at this point, accepting anything less than just pretty much a full surrender. Are Iran's allies going to allow that to happen? Maybe they've just, they've done the figures and say, hey, it's not worth the fight. We'll just, lick our wounds from Iran being gone. They're part of BRICS, a founding member of BRICS. They're a major oil and gas producer on the planet. They're a big deal. They are a big deal. And so to let Iran go under and be basically taken over by the West, so that means all of those assets, because you know how it all works. We've been here before, weapons of mass destruction, taking over oil. We know how this works. You can see what's gone on in Syria. Is Russia, China, North Korea, Pakistan, are they willing to allow that to happen just to stay out of this? I don't know. In other news that's, I'm sure, very related, Russia made a huge attack on Kiev overnight. One of the strongest that they've had since this whole war started. Just very devastating attack. So things are not even close to being resolved. I'm not on here going to say that World War III is going to happen tomorrow, or that nuclear war is going to happen tomorrow, but I think both of those are on the table and they're becoming more likely. And we need to realize that the instability right now and the confusion, and maybe some of it's orchestrated, maybe some of it's just people that don't really know what's going on or how to handle things, or their own personal feelings and emotions are involved in it too much. But things are really chaotic right now, really chaotic. And I'm only just talking about the war stuff. I mean, if you look at everything else going on, economy stuff, the problems here in the United States, the flip-flopping back and forth on the immigration and the deportation stuff. Now we're back to deporting everyone. A couple of days ago, we're like, well, amnesty, and we're going to not deport the restaurant workers and the hotel workers and the farmers. Now it's nope, we're going to hit it hard. I have an order to everyone, every possible illegal in the country, get them out now. So it's chaotic, it's confusing, and it's very disruptive. And maybe in the end, the disruption will be a good thing. But Bible says that God's not the author of confusion, and there's a lot of confusion going on right now. So I'm having a hard time accepting this, just trust the plan, it's all going to be fine. I don't buy that, folks. This is a lot of stuff, and there's a possibility that your sons and daughters and nieces and nephews and grandchildren and stuff may end up being in this war. There may be a draft. There may be all kinds of things, all kinds of possibilities that could happen. Yes, this could evolve into a World War III scenario, because Iran is a big deal for BRICS and those nations. It's a big deal. And so could it get to that point? Yeah, that's possible. You and I, we have to get seriously ready. I see so many things in the comments. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. It's nothing's going to happen. I see, nothing's going to happen. I'm pretty convinced most of those people that say that kind of stuff, whether it's my channel or other things, they're trolls. Or they're just so plugged into the matrix that they just have no clue of what's really going on. things, you know, and I don't want to spread fear, and I don't want to sound like the doom and gloom guy. I really am not. You know, I see comments all the time. People, oh, you're just a worry wart. You're just you have. I really, in real life, I'm not that way. I'm about the most low key, you know, mellow, no stress, not panic, not worry. My wife, she's always, you know, comment, you know, aren't you worried about that? I'm like, no, I'm not worried about that. It's cool. It's fine. That's me. What I'm telling you, though, is that these events that appear to be happening and the chaos that is happening around all of it are very serious. They're very serious. They have very serious repercussions. Is it going to be the end of the world? Does it mean you need to go, you know, mortgage your house and buy everything you can and go hide in a bunker? No, but they are serious. And we should be preparing accordingly. You know, if you got your little mag group, you guys should be talking a lot right now. You should be meeting and talking a lot. You should be making preparations as a group, as a team, as a family. You should be going over things. Stocking up if you can, topping off things if you can. But understanding that things are shifting. And here's what I kind of, my gut is, even though I may not have a ton of evidence. We know on one hand, there's all this tech that they're pushing, right? And this has been going on for a while, but it's getting bigger now, right? And we know that there's this desire on the globalists and the leader, all the elites, that's to switch us over to like a new system, right? Well, how is that system going to happen? How is that switch going to happen? How do you make that switch? Well, creating a big global catastrophe, disaster, chaos is a good way to kind of shift that in. You know, they did a lot during COVID. That's what COVID, I think, really was about, was shifting a lot of stuff. Now they need to finish the job. A big war that includes Iran and Russia and China and Pakistan and us, and that could do it. It's chaotic, even though if it's not a real hot war, it's just a lot of, you know, proxy stuff going on. It's still chaotic enough and consumes people's attention enough to start making more of a prominent switch, you know, and so that in 6, 12 months, 18 months, whatever the timeline is, we look back and like, wow, well, we were all paying attention to nuclear Armageddon getting ready to happen, and well, now we're all microchipped and brain chipped, and, you know, AI is running our lives. How did that happen? Just get ready, folks. I think it's more serious than most people think, and not just because there's a potential for nuke. I think the real seriousness is what's happening and will happen because of all this distraction. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order and to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.